a quick second to look at your homework assignment with you for tonight. You should have picked up this assignment, the continuous interest preview activity, when you were done with your quiz today. But things were a little bit hectic after your quiz, and I didn't really get the chance to go over this with you before I sent you off with it. So I thought maybe I would take the time to do one example with you to make sure that you know what you're doing and that you're on the right track. If you forgot to pick this up, I am going to attach a blank copy of this to my website right where you found this video. So if you didn't pick this up, you may want to take a second right now to go download that, print it off, and then make sure you fill it in for tomorrow. Okay? So take a look at this, and I'll tell you right now, some of this is not going to make a lot of sense to you right now. You're not going to understand why I'm asking you to do this. I promise it's not because I think it's terribly fun. There's a reason for it. The lesson we're going to talk about tomorrow sort of links into this activity. So this situation is not a real logical situation. You are investing $1 at 100% interest. You're never going to find 100% interest. If you do, take it for sure. But and then you're also not going to understand really why I'm having you write your answers with as many decimal places as possible. Again, this all links into the new stuff we're learning tomorrow. So just follow the directions even if it doesn't make sense to you right now, and then tomorrow when we discuss it, you'll see why I was asking you to do that. So you are investing $1. Remember, the amount that you're investing is your p-value when you're doing these problems. And then if my interest rate is 100%, I would have to move that decimal point 2 to the left and make it 1.00 or just 1. And that's your R, so that's your interest rate. And then you're leaving it in the account for 1 year, so your time is also 1. So P, R, and T are all exactly 1. The only number that's going to change is the N value. Okay, and I'm going to go down to maybe one of these harder ones. So like let's take, for example, every hour. If I were compounding every hour in 1 year, all right, for all of these you're thinking about number of compounds per year. And that even says right here. Okay, compounds per year. So every hour, well, I know there's 24 hours in a day and 365 days in a year. So if I multiply 24 times 365, get a calculator that works here. I end up with 8,760 hours in 1 year. Okay. Now the next column wants me to fill in the formula. So remember, the P up here we said was going to be 1. And then we're going to have 1 plus my interest rate is 1. My N value is going to be that 8,760. And then I'm going to raise to the power of 8,760 times 1 for my T value. So basically everything is a 1 except for N. And N is going to come from this column over here. So this column is your N value. All right? Everything you fill in here, that's what's being plugged in for N. And now I'm going to type that into my calculator. So I'm going to type 1 times 1 plus 1 divided by 8760 to the power of 8760 times 1. If you're, oh, I missed a number there. If your calculator does not do this, if it doesn't let you type up in the exponent, if it keeps it all on one line, you will need parentheses around that exponent. And then I hit enter, and I get this. And again, I told you to write out as many decimal places as your calculator gave you. That's why you have all this space. So I would write out 2.718126691. Again, I promise you I have reasons for all that insanity. Okay, so that's what you're doing for every single one of these problems, is you're figuring out your N value. You're plugging in your values into the formula here. And again, all of your values are going to be a 1 except for N. N is the thing that's changing every time. So this N and this N is going to match this column. Okay? And then I want you to type it into a calculator and write down the entire decimal over here. All right? And what I really want to see is the decimal that you get down here at the very bottom. Okay? Because that's going to be kind of where we start our discussion tomorrow. Okay? Feel free to email me if you have questions. Otherwise, we'll chat about this in tomorrow some more.